Welcome back to Vuln Vibes. Today we are diving deep into a critical vulnerability that's been making waves, CVE 2025-2825. It's an authentication bypass in CrushFTP, and our main source today is Project Discovery's in-depth analysis. They really lay out how this flaw could grant an attacker complete server access, and that's no joke.
Yeah, no kidding. It's a pretty serious vulnerability. Project Discovery highlights that this weakness exists in CrushFTP's S3 style authorization. And the versions that are hit hardest are 10.0 all the way through 10.8.3. And on the 11.x branch, we're looking at 11.0 through 11.4.0. So quite a range there. And given the CVSS score, 9.8, it's classified as critical. And with a network-based attack vector, it's definitely something that security professionals need to address, like, right away.
Absolutely. So let's break this down. Where exactly is this vulnerability? What's the root cause here?
So it all boils down to this function called login check header auth, and the way it handles the authorization header. The really interesting bit is there's this Boolean flag, lookup user pass, and it's supposed to manage how passwords are fetched. But the problem is it's also being used to completely sidestep password verification. And this is happening through another flag, anypass, and a function called login user pass. Essentially, this one flag is being overloaded, and that's where the security hole opens up.
Okay, I see. So how does an attacker exploit this? We're talking no credentials needed, right?
Exactly, no credentials required.
Yeah.
So what they do is they craft a specific authorization header. It looks like the standard AWS 4-HMAN-C SHA-256 format. But there's a twist. The credential parameter, it ends with a / right after the username. So it'd be something like credential crush admin.
Interesting. So just adding that slash is enough.
Yeah. Well, there's a bit more to it. Along with this modified header, they also use a specially crafted CrushAuth cookie. And this cookie has to have a matching C2F parameter. This combination is what essentially fools the server. It thinks it's talking to a legitimate authenticated user when it's not.
And what's even more concerning is that Project Discovery points out there's no signature verification happening here.
You got it. So normally the server would check the cryptographic signature, right? But in this particular exploit, it doesn't. It only looks for that / just to pull out the username. Because of this shortcut in the authentication process, boom, that's the vulnerability.
Wow. So Project Discovery didn't just stop at finding this vulnerability. They've also given us tools to detect it, haven't they?
Yeah, they've actually published a full proof of concept HTTP request. So you can actually see how this exploit works in practice. And to make things even easier for defenders, they've released a Nuclei template. Now here's a little caveat. Certain server configurations might need 2 requests for accurate detection, but they've got that covered. Oh, and they've even set up a hands-on lab for anyone who wants to really dig in and explore the vulnerability.
That's amazing. So if an attacker successfully exploits this vulnerability, what's the potential impact here?
We're talking full server takeover. Think about it, they have access to everything. Manipulating files, uploading malware, even creating new admin users. And then from there, they can move laterally within the network, exfiltrate data, or establish persistence by creating backdoors with these new admin accounts. Really opens the door to a whole lot of trouble.
That's a pretty scary thought. But luckily, there's a patch available. What should our listeners be doing to protect themselves?
The good news is CrushFTP has released patched versions. For the 10.x branch, you'll need to upgrade to 10.8.4 or later. And for the 11.x branch, it's 11.3.1 or later. It's crucial to patch any vulnerable systems right away. That's the #1 priority to mitigate this risk.
Absolutely. This vulnerability really underlines how even the tiniest flaw, like a misused Boolean flag, can have huge consequences, especially when it comes to something as fundamental as authentication. It's a stark reminder that meticulous code review is not something to be taken lightly.
I completely agree. And it also highlights the speed at which attackers can weaponize these vulnerabilities. I mean, the fact that we have a PAC and a Nuclei template so quickly means that defenders need to be just as fast in their response. It really is a constant arms race.
So true. Now, stepping back for a moment and thinking about the bigger picture, what does this kind of unauthenticated full server access mean for an attacker in terms of how an attack might unfold?
Well, this initial compromise is like a springboard for further attacks. They can immediately start moving laterally within the network, potentially leading to even bigger problems. Things like data exfiltration become much easier, and they can establish persistence through these newly created admin accounts. Basically, this kind of vulnerability bypasses the first line of defense completely, making it significantly easier for attackers to achieve their objectives.
That's a sobering but essential point. Thanks for breaking down CVE 2025-2825 with us today. It's a potent reminder that we can never let our guard down in this field. As you move forward, think about how gaining this initial access fits into the different stages of the cyber kill chain, and use that knowledge to strengthen your defenses. See you next time on Vault Vibes.
See you later.